For more than 100 years, Americans walked past a strange stone tower in Rhode Island, never realizing it might rewrite the history of who reached America first. And it all began with a diary no one was meant to find. The Newport Tower, standing silently in Turo Park, had always been one of those puzzles people noticed but never truly questioned. A round stone building with 8 arches, a second-floor chamber, and windows aligned in a way that seemed too precise to be accidental. Locals called it Governor Arnold's Windmill. Tourists snapped photos without thinking twice. But historians, explorers, and astronomers quietly felt something was off. Because no colonial windmill in the 1600s, none, looked anything like this. Its arches were perfectly curved using a technique unknown in the English colonies. Its walls were thicker than a fortress, and the placement of its windows matched the movement of the sun during winter solstice. It was an astronomical alignment, not a practical one. Something ancient cultures used, something master navigators relied on. The mystery of the tower began growing in the 1800s, but it would explode into global curiosity in the early 1900s after a strange discovery that almost changed what Americans believed about their own origins. In 1919, during the renovation of an old farmhouse near the Rhode Island coast, workers stumbled upon a sealed wooden chest hidden behind a wall. Inside it were navigation tools, scraps of sea charts, and a partially preserved leather-bound journal. The diary belonged to Miguel de la Costa, a Portuguese pilot who sailed the Atlantic in the mid-1500s. At first, historians dismissed it, another sea story from a forgotten sailor. But when they read the surviving entries, everything changed. Miguel claimed his small crew had been caught in a violent storm while traveling from the Azores. His ship drifted farther west than intended. After days of fog and freezing winds, they spotted land, quote, rising mists, clay-red cliffs, and a bay shaped like a crooked horn. That description matched Narragansett Bay almost perfectly. The next part shook scholars. Miguel wrote, "We built a stone observatory with 8 windows, round, firm, and aligned to the winter sun, so we may find our path home again." A round tower, 8 windows, winter alignment, the Newport Tower. If this diary was genuine, it meant Portuguese navigators reached New England decades before Jamestown, a century before the Pilgrims, and possibly before most major European exploration records. But the diary alone wasn't enough. Historians argued fiercely. Some said it was a forgery. Some said it was misinterpretation. Others were shocked by how many details matched the architecture of 1500s Portugal. And that's when the scientific evidence began surfacing.
During excavations beneath the tower in 1992, archaeologists found charcoal fragments and soil disturbances that carbon dated between 1440 and 1640, a window older than Governor Arnold's era. Even more intriguing, a chemical analysis of the tower's mortar showed a unique mixture of seashell lime and charcoal identical to a type used in the Azores in the early 1500s. Then came the alignment studies. Astronomers noted that one narrow window captured the first light of the winter solstice sunrise, forming a beam that traveled across the interior and struck one specific point on the wall. Was that a coincidence, or was it designed for celestial navigation? No colonial windmill ever needed that, but Portuguese navigators did. Still, every new discovery created more questions than answers. Why would a small group of sailors build something so massive? Were they hiding? Waiting for rescue? Did they leave behind other traces that were never found? The diary hinted at trouble. It spoke of sickness, conflict, and a final desperate attempt to return across the Atlantic before winter ice closed their route. The last legible line read, "If we do not return, let the stone ring speak for us. It will face the sun when we cannot." That one sentence fueled a century of theories. Some believe Miguel and his crew died on the return journey. Some think Miguel and his crew integrated with local tribes. Others say the chest, hidden for centuries, was meant to be their silent message to the future. And yet, even with all this evidence, the mystery remains officially unresolved. To this day, the U.S. government lists the Newport Tower simply as a colonial-era structure. Many historians accept Governor Arnold's will as proof that it was only a windmill. But even Arnold's document never states that he built it, only that he owned it. Tour guides still argue. Scholars still debate. Travelers still walk through Toro Park completely unaware that they might be standing before a monument older than the United States itself. But one thing is undeniable. Every year on the winter solstice, the sunrise shines perfectly through the tower's west window, hitting the opposite wall with a precision that no random colonial builder could ever replicate. It is an alignment worthy of master navigators, an alignment known to Portuguese explorers, an alignment written in a forgotten diary that was never meant to survive. And maybe, just maybe, the Newport Tower is America's oldest unsolved message.